Keller Williams Command brings the agent operating system and the consumer operating system together seamlessly.
Command organized everything for me and put it in one place.
When you have dominion over what you've got at your fingertips, it gives you the opportunity to grow. I was always moving between these different applications,
but none of them talk to one another. And as a result, there's lost clients, which means lost dollars.
A spreadsheet for my finances.
We had 7 or 8 different logins.
A spreadsheet for my showings reports, for my listings, my price adjustments.
It was a big time drain.
Our goal is nothing short of reinventing how people experience real estate through technology and making sure that you're the owner of that technology.
We wanted to build a platform that would connect Keller Williams agents all over the world. This technology was built by agents, directed for agents, and ultimately created to make your lives better.
We really took time with each one of the applets, getting to know how it could help us in our business, and Designs was huge because it eliminated that Canva expense. We templated what is our brand going to be, and now everything is branded, it's succinct, it takes seconds to create new listing, under contract, just closed.
We use the campaigns dashboard a lot. Within the campaigns dashboard, we can send direct mailers out to neighborhoods that we farm. You just choose like an area, or you can say 123 Main Street, we want like 250 mailers to go out for just listed within a 5-mile radius, or you choose a radius. We also use the campaigns dashboard to set up social media ads and pay-per-click ads to not only be in our hyper-local area, but also farm outside to gain more territory.
The way people are shopping for homes has changed. Everything is social, everything is on the phone. So if you can't be on the phone and them have direct access to you as their agent, you're losing. You can tell a real estate agent built this app, and that's what I appreciate. If they find a property within the app and they want to ask about it, it goes directly to you.
It's a really great way of being able to connect with your client if you're using the same platform together, and I can see what they're accessing, what's interesting them, when they're clicking on things, when they're opening things. So it helps me also be more efficient how I'm working with my clients.
With Smart Plans, I'm allowed to set it and forget it. I don't have to worry about clients falling through the cracks.
It keeps track of things that we wouldn't otherwise think of. My clients' home anniversaries, their birthdays, the things that build that feel-good relationship with your clients, it automates. And so it makes those touches so much easier to keep track of and to make happen.
So what's really neat about Opportunities is that it will track that lead and that business through the process, not just track it in terms of steps, but also the math behind it. Every step of the way, as I get closer to a closing, I'm starting to realize those dollars. And as someone that knows pretty much every CRM out there, I've never seen this before.
For me as a team leader, I use the Opportunities dashboard the most, just looking at the numbers and seeing where we are. Conversion rates,
Average commission, we're tracking what our sales price is.
GCI, probable income, potential income, all those things are things that I'm looking at, and then ways to lead generate, ways to get more listings, ways to get more business within the team.
I can make smart business decisions based on where are we going to spend more money, where are we going to cut back, and it's all right there in one spot.
So like Gary said, when you know the right numbers, hitting the mark becomes the entire focus of the team. And so for us, when we want to know our numbers, we look at the reports dashboard to make sure that we're on track.
I could see what's on my agents' dashboards, but then I could also see how they're interacting. I could see where they're winning. I could see where they're not winning, and I could coach specifically to what it is I'm seeing. If I see a number of appointments being set and a number of appointments being held, but no listings being taken, and I have a tool that exposes that deficiency, what should I be coaching or training around?
Command has simplified our lives on the back end of running a team with a lot of moving parts and pieces and human capital. It's allowed us to go to one place to get the answers that we're looking for in almost every single facet of our business.
The cost per lead is ridiculously low. If I was spending $3,000 before, I can spend like $150 or $200 now. It's been like 95 cents a lead on Command.
One of our CRMs, we were paying as much as $2,000 a month.
I could take the money I was spending on a CRM and I could support another family by hiring somebody full-time into our organization.
We were able to cut our expenses by 50%. So moving to Command was just like a no-brainer. We can save money if we go to a free platform versus paying for one or two, right?
We
we've leveraged the technology within Command and allowed for that to enhance our business.
From A to pay, it just simplified everything.
You could tell that this was made for agents by agents.
What Keller Williams Command does better than any other system out there is it keeps you relevant and it keeps you right in the middle of the transaction, and it doesn't let any detail slip by.
Real estate is about helping people with one of the most fundamental aspects of their lives, home. And you are the expert they turn to. And not just when someone buys or sells, but before, after, and all the little spaces in between. So it can be frustrating when you don't have the time or technology to know when someone needs your help. And when you miss that opportunity, it creates a gap that someone or something else can step into. So let's close that gap and give you the time and technology you need to build high-quality relationships with more people. Let's join forces and demand our technology not replace us, but help us be more human, more present, more everything. Let's take Command. Built exclusively by and for Keller Williams agents, Command is your do-it-all, do-it-quickly, people-centric, less stress, more time, end-to-end platform to grow your relationships, your pipeline, and your market share. Whew! Luckily, using it is a lot easier than explaining everything it does, but let's give it a try. Organize, customize, and sync all your contacts. Group them however you want. Know exactly who to reach out to, when, and about the things they really care about. Send personalized neighborhood-centric just-in-time marketing materials in a snap. Have more conversations, build more relationships, earn more business. Say, "Hey Kelly," and escape from your desk in the office. Add a new contact, log notes, and sync everything while on the go. Seamlessly and transparently source, send, and manage referrals through one of the world's largest and most profitable referral networks. Deploy an ROI-maximized ad campaign across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in like 30 seconds. Integrate the systems and tools you already use every day. Automate paperwork and background tasks. Access real-time revenue projections, end-to-end ROI insights, and goal tracking to get a bird's eye view of your business. Have more conversations, build more relationships, earn more business. Command empowers you to be a better agent by giving you more time, more value, and more freedom. And best of all, it ensures you and your relationship with your clients remain at the heart of real estate, where you belong.
We don't get it right all the time. Nobody does. Sometimes we fail, but we fail forward. A couple years ago, we started reworking the Command app. We discovered that we had real AI all along. Agent intelligence. You told us what we did wrong, so we could work to make it right. And the only way to truly get it wrong is to give up. But we didn't give up. We hired the best to make the best. We kept building for you. We broke it down, we beefed it up. We went mobile, baby. And now that it's ready, we're not finished. Let our competitors say pencils down. It's not just about where we are, it's about where we're going. And we'll keep building the platform to go anywhere that you want to go. More time, more education, more contacts, more connections, more insights, more integrations, more on the go. More simple, more success, more results, more referrals. More leads, more listings, more leverage, more wealth. More human, more often. More MREA. We wrote the book on real estate, and now we've built the tech. A bigger and better network, so you could build yours. We transformed the technology from worry to works, from From bugs to business, from doubt to double down. This is where she who controls the lead controls the industry. Take control of your database. Take control of your leads. Take control of your money. Take back control and take command. This is now an app with a fiduciary interest. An app that makes your fight personal. This is an intuitive real estate machine that learns, corrects, improves, anticipates, just like entrepreneurs. Built for agents, by agents. This is pure Keller Williams, made not just to keep up with you, but make you faster. Take ground, take command. This is the place, and this is the technology, built for entrepreneurs to thrive. We did more than make it right. We made it us. Onward.
Whether you're a leader or agent, KW Command enables you to manage and grow your business through one powerful integrated platform.
A typical agent spends more than 60% of their time away from their desk. That means you have to be able to take your business wherever you go. The Command app makes it possible. When you are on the go, everything you need is right there on your phone.
You can access and manage your contacts, respond to new leads, prioritize daily tasks, and manage your opportunities, all within the Command app. Tasks are the backbone of your day. Within the Command app, you can easily add and manage tasks, then see a clear snapshot of what needs to get done when.
So your to-do list is always up to date and prioritized.
The Command app makes tracking contacts and leads easy. With built-in integrations for texting and calling, including Twilio and WhatsApp, you can effortlessly log a call or text, then instantly view it on your contact's timeline.
There is a reason Command Mobile has a 4.8 out of 5 rating in the App Store.
The Command app makes it easy to build, foster, and maintain relationships with your sphere of influence. You can assign a lead to a smart plan, add tags, and create notes, so you'll always remember what's important to your clients. You can manage your opportunities and always keep your pipeline updated. In-app and push notifications ensure you won't miss out on anything important.
Plus, the app makes it easy to manage read and unread notifications and to set reminders.
You'll always be in the know and ready for action whenever and wherever you get new info, like seeing who's requested a tour or who's inquiring about a property. Like we said, we're serious about helping you thrive.
With the Command app, everything you need is at your fingertips.
Command was created to help entrepreneurs like you thrive. Whether you're a market center leader or agent, KW Command enables you to run and grow your business through one powerful and integrated platform. We built Command around Gary's proven laws of lead generation. Build a database, feed it daily, and communicate with it systematically. It's all about being more human, more often, with more people. We want you to thrive in this market and capture your unfair share of every market. That's why we help you generate more leads for less. Using Command, you can upload your contacts and start a high-impact marketing campaign without spending a dime. You can run targeted ads across media channels, including Google, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, with just one login. In Command, you can create one-off listing campaigns or always-on recruitment programs with push-button ease. No marketing expertise required. You'll do in 9 minutes what used to take 9 hours. And at less than $3 a lead, you'll pay a fraction of what everyone else in the industry is paying. Save time, save money. Sold. Like we said, we're serious about helping you thrive. For streamlined lead gen, it's all right there. Friends, it's time for you to take command. Jason Abrams here. Everyone knows that I love to talk. It's a gift, but I also love to listen. We're having conversations with the best and the busiest. The biggest personalities making the biggest impact. The craziest and the coolest. It's about passion, strategy, and above all, it's about real, tangible success. This is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast, available anywhere you get your podcasts.
you very much. We appreciate all the efforts. I know it's been flooded in the other areas, but still you're here to join us. However, we will guarantee that your time here will not be wasted.
The world is changing globally in terms of the real estate landscape. So
I think we can all agree that change has happened in countries in many industries, and usually the way that change happens is by leadership. Someone has a vision for things to be done a different way and to lead. Really, the mindsets of Keller Williams, I think, is what that leadership demonstrates, and then the agents are then able to model and follow.
The world wants to complicate everything, including our industry. But what I love that you really clarify for me is that this business is ultimately pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. But if we put a person, a tool, or a system in place in our lead generation, person or tool or a system, or even all three in our lead follow-up, so it's systematic and it's always happening, then the ironic thing is that the service of your actual clients goes up. And then you know the business is coming because that's the engine.
In the past, I wasn't really purposeful much. I actually perform or do on a daily basis. But now, since I'm more purposeful, I know at what point be able to hit capper status.
So basically, you are now running a predictive business model.
Yes, that's correct.
Finding a real estate company that could back you up, it will be the most important decision that you would ever make in your entire life.
You don't feel that emotion, you don't feel that inspiration. It's not only that you feed your mind, but then after you finish that conference, you so fed your soul.
Leader is hard. This is what I learned. How can you help? It's not to get angry, it's not get emotion. It's just like you know your own mission and you know your goal. And we are just together equally to make it happen.
Good morning, Robert. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had a good weekend and a good week last week, and looking forward to another great week now. Now, today we will break the series of Jonathan, who is now in the US, but we have something very special for you. See, Robert and I have been discussing this for quite some time. And you see, a lot of people have been missing out on some opportunities because a lot have been focused on what? Residential lang, the easy, the low-hanging fruits. However, there are a lot of opportunities that we are missing. The big deals, the big tickets, no? And we all know, as I've stated in my post, that even during the pandemic, this sector has been flourishing very, very well. And I think Robert also benefited from that. So we have invited him. I know you just had a great time with him last Saturday night. Was it Saturday night? Friday night.
Yeah.
But then, so we'll continue that. And Thursday afternoon, we also had a good good discussion with him. So now we will open this to more friends in and outside KW Manila so that we can share this information and a lot of opportunities that some of you might have been missing. So before I start, I guess you should share this and invite your friends to watch this and also benefit from it. You know what, Robert? One thing I noticed that a lot of friends do not want to share the power sessions that we have because they are really getting the benefit from it. And just like most people, wait, I want this information and bakit ko share sa kanila? And this is good business for me. But it's up to you. Okay. Now, for those who are not yet with KW Manila Bay, I'd like to properly introduce our speaker who has been a good friend of mine for the past, 36 years.
Yeah.
36 years. He was my first brokerage client when he arrived here in the Philippines to set up his real estate business. So that was my first brokerage client for their real estate office. But I'm not saying that I am older than Robert. So, anyway, so another trivia that you may not, baka hindi niyo pa alam, no? Before the word vlog or blog became popular, Robert has been writing this blogs, no? Hotmail pa nun. Hindi, Friendster pa nun. For those who are not yet familiar with that. So has been writing this blogs. Maybe some of you were not born yet then. But so he's been doing a lot of research and he's been one of the most active. And I call him not a broker, but a power connector. So, Ed, he's supposed to have an appointment today at 10:30, but he moved it for all of you. So I hope we can show our appreciation by at least focusing in the next 45, 50 minutes, because we will be learning a lot and you can use this for your business. Okay? So without much further ado, guys, please welcome my good friend, Robert Sarmiento.
Good morning, everyone. All right. As I just a word of warning, I'm gonna go through this really quick, because there's just so much information that I want you to initially digest. No, everything is just out there. From the newspapers, what you see around you, you can see how it all connects to the industrial sector. All right, and so I was finalizing this PowerPoint to cater to today's Zoom. I got some more information yesterday. It took me about 7 hours to compile this because I had initially done a talk for Mareb, Metro Angeles, Pareb, and I'll be doing another one this coming Friday also for the industrial sector for Tarlac board. So without much ado, I'll get on to it because it's gonna go really quick. In fact, I was hoping I could control the slides because it's gonna go kind of fast. All right. Well, today we're gonna unpack the industrial backbone, of our economy, where we are, what's changing, how we as real estate professionals must position ourselves to ride this wave of opportunity. All right. ASEAN is the next global supply chain frontier, and we've seen this. Companies are relocating from China due to rising costs and geopolitical risks. Philippines has the labor and location. We're really strategically located, but we face stiff competition from Vietnam and Indonesia. All right. Our Philippine industrial sector contributes about 30% to our GDP, Philippine GDP. Growth is seen in logistics, as you've seen it. These are like the Lala Moves and other big couriers, and that also goes to the shipping lines and all that. E-commerce, this happened during the pandemic. It became very, very obvious, from people just ordering online. Okay. And then also, and then we've seen also cold storage also happened during the Actually, it's been there, but it just became so big during the pandemic. You can see classic example is Crispy Pata of Barrio Fiesta. Now you can see them in the frozen section of the grocery. All right. Land value then has also appreciated because over here you can see from the early beginnings. Let's just go to Pasong Tamo Extension or Pasong Tamo. Oh yeah, Pasong Tamo Extension. That was a road filled with industrial warehousing before, but due to rising land values, so many owners, developers already resorted to bring out to Cavite, to Laguna, to Batangas, where price values of land are much cheaper then. Okay, in fact, now it's also going up there, so they're now going outside to further away to Quezon and to others, Pangasinan, Tarlac, and all that. No, why? Because land values also keep going up. It doesn't make sense anymore. No. Also, we have seen that the government's build during the Duterte time to now BBM's build more is a game changer. Okay, we've seen how so many what do you call this? Okay, can we move the slide now down? Okay, I've also gone down. I'll just leave it there from that slide, because I'm going to go through the history a bit. Okay. Now we've got aside from the government on the infrastructures, we now also have PEZA and BOI. In fact, Andy and I were at PEZA the other day with DG Theo to discuss some aspects of what PEZA is doing. Right, they're giving now 4 to 7 years income holidays, 5% gross income tax, post ITH, duty-free imports, VAT zero related sales. These are all essential for foreign direct investors. No, okay. Some of this were already given before, but implementation is always the key. There were issues about implementation. No, okay. Now we've seen that in the beginning, it was always been through fast times. Now, no, it's been strategic locations such as Calabarzon, but now we've also seen the north area, which is rising up. Okay, that's why I have that PowerPoint also for the rise of the Central Luzon sector. Okay, PEZA zones still attract the most, although there are some other areas for assembly, electronics, heavy industry for manufacturing, and now green parks are also a must-have for ESG-focused tenants. Okay, some of these terms I'll explain later on or in the next slides. But now it's just too much. I just want to give you a general background of everything. Now, we've also seen how major players, okay, if you guys are in the stock market, I suggest you be very careful about that. But, you've seen the Ayala, one of the major players, and they've opened the Ayala Logistics Holding Corp. Okay, they've got several from the Laguna Technopark to Cavite Technopark. Now we got the Lima Estate also of the Aboitiz, the Mactan Economic, there's also in Cebu. There's also in Balamban, Cebu, West Cebu Estate. Okay, there's a science park also in Laguna and Batangas, Cebu Light Industrial Park. Okay, there's a Philinvest is also part of it. They have the Philinvest Technology Park in Calamba, Laguna. They have also the New Clark City Innovation Park. There's Robinson's also part of it. They have Montclair Industrial Park in Porac, Pampanga. There's Double Dragon in Central Hubs Industrial Centers in Davao. Okay, there's First Philippine Industrial Park. It's a joint venture between First Philippine Holdings of the Lopezes and the Sumitomo Group. There's Cavite Economic Zone which is developed and managed by PEZA. There's Hermosa Eco Zone by Science Park of the Philippines in Tarlac, in Hermosa, Tarlac. There's Santa Lucia that's also emerging there in Megawide. No, so just a few of those players that are really getting into the scene. No. We also the Philippines also offers an abundant labor, and we've got actually good labor force, no? But skills in gap are kind of like far. Medyo naiiwanan tayo ng mga Vietnamese. They're more productive pa than we are. So that's something that we have to scale up and level up, right? Okay. So of course, you're in this to what's in this for you? So you'll realize there's so much opportunity. Because when the Ayalas, the Robinsons, the Double Dragons, the Philinvest are getting in, then obviously there's money there. Okay, and in it, there's land that needs to be offered to this developer. Cold storage, other lines in the industrial sector that need to be leased out. Remember, leasing is fast. So that's bread and butter for us, in my company, right? Okay. So we are also matchmakers because they're looking, I need 35 hectares, I need 70 hectares for industrial use, no? So in line with all this, there's got to be a smooth transition as far as getting permits, zoning, and all that. So we need support from the government, right? So final takeaways, Central Luzon is the next frontier. I've said that time and again. Affordable land, growing infrastructure. You deepen your knowledge on this because we are still at a little above infancy stage, but there's so much room. Kumbaga sa kung fourth year college, we are still at grade 3. So much room. We are so far off yet from Vietnam. In fact, we missed the boat twice already, or maybe 3 or 4 times. All right. Why? You'll see later the issues why we've been left behind by other ASEAN countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and the rest. Even shocking to know, even Bangladesh. All right. Okay. So with that, let me go through the slides now. So Industrial Revolution that time. Remember, we were taken over by we were colonized by the Americans. So we were I look back at the American colonial rule. At that time, what were the Philippines? They took over Metro Manila. So when they came into Manila, they bought us from the Spaniards, right? So pasok sila. So saan ang pinaka harbor natin? The next slide. We were then in Manila. At that time, we were only in light manufacturing, textiles, food processing, and a bit of construction materials. We were all catering to, that's it, the cement, lumber mills. We were catering to what the US needed, all right? Kasi they took over us. So kung anong kailangan nila. And where were the locations? Go ahead. Next slide, please. Locations there were Manila, Port of Manila, Tondo, Binondo, Cavite Naval Base, Sangley Point, which is making a turnaround now, and soon we'll have an airport there. We've got Pampanga, Central Luzon. We've got Iloilo, Cebu City, and then of course Baguio. That's why there's Camp John Hay, U.S. Military Reserve. On that one, in Camp John Hay, you notice when you go to Baguio, puro mga woodwork. So that's where it started, right? Okay, next slide. Again, I apologize if I'm going to go really fast because I want to finish as much as I could on these slides. No? So during the post-war 50s and 60s, nag-move forward na tayo. So we had textile, cement, paper, food processing, and basic metals. And then the emerging industrial hubs then were Manila, Calabarzon, and Central Luzon. All right. I remember vaguely, but I just remember that Cavite was spearheading the growth towards the south then. No? Next slide. Export-oriented. Now we move fast forward to the 70s and to the 90s. Yan na, pumasok na mga PEZA. PEZA era. Export-oriented industrialization. We got to thank President Marcos, as much as, he kind of like disappeared in the, in our history books, he should be back there. Marami nagawa si Marcos. He created also the special economic zone. We've got the Bataan processing zone in PEZA in 1995. And then, electronics, semiconductor, and garments were again getting more active. Next slide. So again, towards a modern expansion, eto na tayo, we're into the electronics, semiconductors, which we're very good at, automotive and aerospace parts. This is further up in the Clark. See, you notice, medyo naka-zone yung mga industries na yan. The food hubs are more in the north sector. The more like semiconductors have been more on the south. But things are changing rapidly. Okay, the Central Luzon is gearing up for a big change and a big expansion. No, food processing, logistics. You see logistics as far as you see a lot of companies. Why did logistics make sense? Because of infrastructures. Okay, which you will see later on, and also cold storage. Because without these infrastructures to back it up, how can logistics move, right? And e-commerce, warehousing. All right, next slide. Now, what were the key issues ever since? Okay, let's drive to them. Next slide. bureaucracy. Alam naman natin yan, di ba? Bawat galaw, okay, how much? Okay, next slide. We didn't have the infrastructure. Look at this is imagine there for decades have been saying, or even the last 20 years, IMF, ADB have been saying, my gosh, you know, you're how many billions or hundreds of millions are you wasting every day due to traffic? All right, next slide. Our economy and our politics, diba? Maybe because of every 6 years we change, there's no continuity, you know, but that's something that when you look at Vietnam, you look at China, you look at Indonesia, they're more into the authoritarian rule. Okay? Yung leadership hindi nag-iiba eh, diretso. So it's more, so tayo, unfortunately, we have to live with this, no? That's it. Next slide. And then we got the Foreign Investment Act, you know, hindi liberal yung ating foreign investment, you know, hindi pwedeng bumili, hindi pwedeng mag-own ng foreigners. So that turns off the foreigners also. All right, next slide. Energy cost, you know, major mistake talaga yung tinigil yung Bataan nuclear plant. So fast forward to the future, our energy cost is one of the most expensive, not in Asia, but in the world. Next slide. Ease of doing business. Now, let me backtrack a bit, you know, with energy naman, fortunately, renewable energies are coming in the picture now, okay, which you will see later on, no? Oh, and then, again, ease of doing business, that's another thing, which is bureaucracy. You know, that actually turns off a lot of people. Yung dapat 7 days, my gosh, meron dyan 2 years na hindi pa nakuha yung permit, okay? I tell you, I got some clients dealing in mining, 2 decades for some permit to come out, you know, on an approved location. Next slide. Labor productivity, as I said earlier, there are some sectors, not all, wherein we do not give the value much, meaning mabagal tayo or medyo hindi tayo kasing galing ng Vietnamese or ng mga Indonesian, no? But on other sectors naman, we are very good. So that's something that remains to be improved on, no? And the Filipinos are really improving. Next slide. And then, of course, we got geopolitics. We're caught in the middle. We got, you know, there's Taiwan, there's the US now, we got an ongoing war. Gasoline's supposed to spike up 5 pesos this week. Okay, so those are beyond our control. Next slide. And then of our economy, you know, as much as we were doing so well, and then some things happened. There's a government intervention, and again, geopolitics that always affects our economy. Next slide. Nation branding. Yeah, ang classic nito is on tourism alone. We travel to Bangkok, we travel to Europe. You know, you see there, love Malaysia, love Bangkok. You know, sana advertisement ng branding natin. Go to the Philippines, love the Philippines. You know, we're missing that. Although our tourism has been picking up, still so much to improve on. Okay, so much. So now we move into now the industrial sector opportunities. Okay, next slide. Forward, please. There you go, di ba? You've seen it. You know, eto na, we've got so many ecozones from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. All right. It's always been said, you know, again, because of politics just within the Philippines. All right. If Mindanao rises, wow, Luzon, Visayas can sleep. Ganun katlaki ang Mindanao and the potential of Mindanao and the agribusiness that it has to offer. Okay, so you got Baguio, Cavite, Pampanga, Mactan, you've got Luzon, Calabarzon. Ang dami nating ecozone. Nakasalang na lahat tayo. We just have to make it happen. All right, we just got to support, we got to believe. All right, we need support from brokers that would push this. Actually, we're, you know, another good thing for the brokers to realize. Everyone, there's so many, and anyone that's getting into real estate, college graduates, newly licensed, they all get into the big developers, project selling, condominium, you know, which is the residential sector. Then they probably after 2 years, they learn the ropes, they leave that developer, they get into brokerage. Then yan, residential pa rin. House and lot, condominium, townhouses. You know, commercial and industrial offers a big opportunity for everyone. Next slide, please. So again, PEZA, gosh, if you research, check out their website, their they're really out there to do what they can manage to do. No, in fact, in the past, I guess for the past two director generals or heads of the PEZA, we've been lauded by the Japanese. They've been praising us. Mahusay tayo. That's one agency that is not corrupt. Next slide. Philippine Governmental Incentive, FDI, di ba? Tax incentive, we got fiscal incentive, SEZ, that's Special Economic Zone, and then other foreign investor support incentives. Next slide. And then ongoing projects. Ito, di ba? You pass by them, you read them, it's on the papers. You know, you just have to connect the dots. They all mean something. Next slide. There's the Bulacan Airport. So, magkano lang ang lupa niya nung nag-umpisa ang Bulacan when it was just heard that Bulacan would be the next. And first, it was, of course, prior to Bulacan, it was Ayala that got in there, bought that big tract of land, and they were starting to develop. And then, ito na nga, fast forward, nangyari to Bulacan. So, my gosh, you know, the bypass roads happened, and how much is that area of San Jose del Monte in that area? They're ranging anywhere from a low, I think, lucky to find 7.5, they're up to 15,000 per square meter now. All right. So again, brokers are in the picture. Okay, next slide. You got the PNR. Ito, sunod-sunod na to. These are just, okay, this should have been further up because may mga railway, may ports, may airport, merong roads. That's the thrust of infrastructure. Okay, next slide. North Luzon, and next, Quezon to Bulacan in 20 minutes. Next slide. CCLX, I mean, CCLX. If you're going through North Luzon Expressway, you look to your left. Now there's Central Luzon Link Expressway. So again, more roads, faster for logistics, faster road. What used to take you 3 hours is now an hour and a half, an hour. Next slide. Subic Clark Manila Batangas Railway. And naman, another one coming up, another railway, right? So we've learned the mistakes of the past. That was when LRT first came out and when MRT also first came out. All right, next slide. Now we also got the Bataan-Cavite Interlink. Now we're moving to the bridges, right? Next slide. Then there's the SLEX TR4 update, Tiaong interchange. Okay, next slide. Next slide. South Luzon Expressway, the road widening, and then now we got the TR4 and the TR5, which would make driving to Quezon and to Batangas much faster, all right? And Alaminos in Laguna. Next slide. Then you got the City Vex, all right, which is from the Silang area to the Magallanes to Alfonso. Talagang infrastructure is really leading the way, no? Next slide. Then, of course, you got the massive new Clark City. All right. So that's still, as I said, and I keep repeating, you know, nandiyan na siya. It was formerly a naval base. We've got the airport there. We've got so much developed in there. But property values have gone up. In fact, we were pushing some properties there by the Tarlac area in the Luisita Access Road, you know, the CLOA pa nun, Certificate Land Ownership Award, no? So now those CLOAs are now mature. So it could be titled, right? So prices were then 1.7. Now I believe it's around 9,000 per square in a span of pandemic 2021. So it's in 4 years. So you do your numbers. Kung 1.7 on at 9,000 per square now, that's how much it's gone up. Next slide. So all this, roads, bridges, airports, it creates opportunity. So what are these? Okay. Next slide. Again, the latest one was this Liberation Day set by this president, and the word tariff became very, very popular. It was actually out there before, but now it's very, very well known, or I guess even a kindergarten kid realizes what tariff means, no? So that created opportunities for us. Kasi anong nangyari dyan? So all of a sudden, they charged China 145%, nagpanic ang China, Taiwan, in all the other countries. But by the way, that 145% was brought down to, I believe, 30%. But then again, it stirred the boat, no, already. And for Europe, Canada, it kind of like disrupted the normal supply chain of things, no. So here we are, helping hand. In fact, we were able to transact a company from Taiwan that moved immediately their operation here. Kasi mas friendly ang tariff sa atin eh. So that creates a lot of more opportunity. No? Next slide. So what happened, or what we did was called the transshipment. So pinapalabas, parang siniship lang dito, siniship nila dito, and dito tatatakan ng made in the Philippines or whatever para makatipid sa tariff. That's basically it in a nutshell. That's what that means. So they save. So not only do they save the manufacturer, but also the consumer, diba? Kasi nasabi nilang para makabuti daw, but actually it's the government that it screws up the whole supply chain, no? Next slide. And then the growing industry of e-commerce, diba? We've seen Lazada, what is this? Spot. Oh, I lose that. Other things that in the commerce that you see on, but Lazada is the one that's leading there. In fact, we've got one of the largest warehouses there. No, next slide. Our technology is getting up there. All right, next slide. Ito medyo mabilis. We've been our digitalization actually was so enhanced during this pandemic, and that's why we kind of like led in I believe that was in 2024 or 2023 when we led the GDP all over the world. The increase in GDP. Next slide. Connectivity from the 5Gs. No, next slide. It's sustainability that will be a key. That's why you see probably as early as 10 years ago the rise of the LED buildings, the green buildings. So the move is towards that kind of development now. Next slide. This IT BPM sector was mostly focused then in the Makati, BGC, MOA area. But now we've seen they're now expanding towards the North Luzon and South Luzon. And because why? Now these people, this youth that used to travel all the way to Manila don't have to travel anymore because now it's there. They have expanded this Accenture, Teleperformance. The companies have expanded outside Metro Manila. Thus nag-expand na, di ba? Next slide. And then, of course, what's inside the industrial parks, no? So these are car parts, as you can see, no? Next slide. And then, this is, di ba, sa mga warehousing, let's say Lazada, okay? They have what they call a fulfillment versus a distribution center. A fulfillment center is like, let's say, you see a what do you call this? A small 40, 50 square meters. Sila yung fulfillment center. Why? They are in charge, from the warehousing nila sa industrial park, the trucks bring it out there to Quezon City, to out there in Bulacan, whatever, no? Ito ngayon yung mga fulfillment center, they're the ones that pack it up sa mga kahon to bring to the consumer. Okay? So that's basically the difference between the fulfillment and the distribution warehouse. Next slide. Their data center, it's still very young. I mean, just the major players are still doing this. It's not available yet it's still a lot of risk for those that are just wanting to get in and be part of the stakeholders. Why? We're still behind on power, diba? And data centers require a lot of power. Okay, next slide. EVs, diba? They're there in the north, although I believe there's a few companies also in the south right now, no? But this is gonna go really fast. In fact, now we've seen we're working on 3 EV companies to have showrooms, not only in Metro Manila, but outside North and South Luzon. Next slide. Food processing. That's mostly in the north, in the Clark area, Bulacan, nandiyan sila. And now they're also expanding to Tarlac. In Tarlac, we've got Victoria Industrial Park, which is geared towards becoming a pharmaceutical zone. Okay, next slide. You got the manufacturing sector, textiles, slowly making a comeback in the country because bigla nakita nyo lang made in Vietnam, made in Bangladesh, di ba? So nawala sa atin. Why? Because they moved there, and costs were much cheaper. Next slide. Semiconductors. Yan yung skill natin na magaling tayo. Long time ago, I think it's been over 20 years when Texas Instrument moved to Baguio and opened, and that's one of their larger facilities. Next slide. Renewable energy, still a long way to go. We're still getting there. As you can see, there's wind, geothermal, hydro, biomass, and solar. So what's in it for the broker? Tingnan niyo yung mga lupa, di ba? Karamihan ngayon, let's say for solar, which has been the main drive, it's the most cost conscious. Lahat sila cost conscious naman, but ito yung pinaka parang easy to get in. And also based on the terrain of the land, flat land, nandiyan ang North Luzon. That's why you've seen the rise. Saan ba nag-develop muna sa Bataan? Before it was started in Tarlac, and then there was one in Batangas, the Levistes, no? Why? The land was flat. As you get into the mountainous area, nandiyan na ngayon yung mga wind. Nakita niyo yung mga kamukha doon sa Taytay, di ba? Yung mga hydro, you've seen that over in Laguna kasi maraming tubig. Okay? And then, of course, there's biomass and geothermal. Okay, next slide. And this beverage production, I've seen that in facilities in Tarlac and also inside Clark City. Next slide. Cold storage. I borrowed this slide from a Viso, a friend of mine. Okay. Cold storage, it's really, ito hot sector yan. And it continues to grow, but it's not as easy as it is. Remember, so what's driving towards the cold storage? Nagde-deliver doon? Logistics, di ba? So you can see the tie-up within this industrial sector. So you just have to connect the dots. Huh? So in fact, if any one of you, here's a direct requirement. I'm servicing a few companies that are looking to buy cold storage companies if they're selling or anywhere in the whole Philippines. Okay, so that's again, it's an opportunity. So look at tract of land. On cold storage is like, to make it feasible, it's about 5,000 square meters. So it's not a bad deal if you encounter one. But they're mostly into buying, not leasing. Huh? Next slide. Petroleum refinery, yep, you've seen that first in the Pandacan area. They moved to Batangas, but there's some already there in the Bataan, of course. So look at the Bataan Cavite interlink later on. That's gonna be a game changer. In fact, there's already land banking going on in Bataan area also, and more so in Cavite. Kasi doon na rin pagbaba ng bridge dyan. Nandiyan na yan sa may bandang Sangli, All right, next slide. So we will be, what's the role of a real estate broker? We're basically the strategic connector. We bridge developers, locators, governments, and even infrastructure planners, no? Like let's say sina Palafox, and the others. So you develop, sino ba itong mga industrial locator if you were to get into this? Drive around, research. Sino ba yung mga manufacturers? Sino ba yung nasa logistics? Sino ba yung nasa tech? Sino ba yung nasa mga cold storage? Match them. And then offer properties. They're probably this property owners, developers are probably leasing out their cold storage, their warehousing. So again, it's opportunity. Get out of, not even get out, but branch out into other sectors. Don't limit yourself to the residential because there's more than enough for everyone to transact in this business. No? And then, of course, this kind of really thinking or going, thinking ahead or being different from the rest, organize local networking events, but tailor them to industrial investors and site selectors. No? Attend or represent South or North Luzon at logistics, infrastructure, manufacturing expos, if there is one. There are some. You just have to be aware, get involved with the associations. Feel yourself, and again, if you're not researching or what do you call this, looking for these clients or these sectors, studying them, then it will always help you expand your portfolio. Next slide. Now, of course, when you're getting into the industrial sector, syempre, yung mga pagpasok sa mga PEZA zone, yung mga LGU, mga permit, pagtayo ng warehouse, this would require all permits. So being connected, that's why you build relationships with key agencies, PEZA, SBMA, yung mga AFAB, LGUs. You got to know, just like what we do in the real estate sector, you got to be connected so that, it's always a free flow and it's always a smooth negotiation so that, when you sell property or what, it also comes out with a clean, you transfer the title to the new owner and it should go on smoothly without any issues. Okay, next slide. You gotta be, okay, nakita ka ng kalye, it's great for another warehousing. Is it the roads wide enough? Are the LGUs friendly there? So all this you should anticipate and think ahead. Para, it's not just about selling the property, but you make sure that it's going to be easy also for your client that bought the property in order for them to be able to use the land for what they purposely bought it for. All right. Practical ideas. Again, create site reports. Okay, you got something, you study na. You study, this is 2.3 kilometers from the exit of Mexico, Pampanga. You're near you're near the ports, you're near a PEZA zone. So all this you got to factor in. How's the labor pool? Okay, let's say we got that industrial park that we were selling somewhere in Tarlac. And then right next to it, there's schools, colleges, all that. There's a ready pool of 100,000 youth laborers that are ready to work. So you got to factor that in also, okay? Partner up with engineers and architects, because they're the ones that are, of course, you gotta, hindi basta engineer, hindi basta architect. So, sino yung mga architects that concentrate or specialize in industrial parks? Who are the architects that specialize in airports? So again, just like lawyers, you have to find the specialization. Same thing with architects, same thing with engineers, right? Next slide. It's okay. So yan ba? Why haven't you gone into the industrial sector? Because lack of knowledge. You're so busy doing what you're doing. Again, you have to always assess, well, how long does it take to close a deal there? So these are things, I'm very analytical in what I do. We factor in time, the day, the time, of course, and then how the kind of clients that we close with. So we always analyze. Madali ba yung transaksyon on a scale of 1 to 10? Nahirapan ka ba sobra? Ang tagal ba masyado? You have to go through so much bureaucracy. So you have to understand those sectors, always analyze so that you can move forward and see if it's something that you'd like to work with, right? Of course, I've been doing market updates, and so it's been an advantage for me because I don't know, I've just been born with that, since I came back here. I kind of like saw things from afar and given us a new road, the bypass road. I could already see a Jollibee, how much values are going to be like there. So medyo autistic on that kind of sense, right? Okay, next slide. That's it. I'm sorry I had to go so fast just to make sure that I covered everything. So I guess there's time for questions.
Okay. That was short, sweet, but very loaded. And at least we have 19 minutes for Q&A. Let me start off with the first question. You see, not a lot of brokers are into this space. No, what do you think are the challenges that's present? That's the reason why people are not too keen on this space. What's the challenges, and then what special knowledge and skills and connections do they need?
Well, you have to really, of course, if I were to do it, and if I were to start to get into the industrial sector, I'd go with the knowledgeable people. Okay, do my research. I'll find the time to meet up with them, and fast track. Kumbaga magpapa-mentor na lang ako, di ba? And then from there, that's the fastest way. That's the fastest way of breaking into the industry. There are brokers, you will see them a month. You can drive through. There's PEZA that you could research on their websites. There are websites. There's also AI. See how fast AI can artificial intelligence. If you don't have a chat GPT, that could probably also help you. That's what it is. And then of course, look at what Ayala. They most likely have a website. There's Aboitiz. Look at their website. Look at what they have there. I'm sure I'll find out, get accredited with them, visit the site. There's nothing like visual and actual site orientation. You have to feel the place, like let's say warehouses. You have to get in there. When you get into a warehouse, what are key factors that you should know? All right, location. Like now, di ba? Saan maggalaw ang warehousing? Nandiyan sa Pasig, nandiyan sa warehouse, nandiyan sa Mandaluyong. There's some in Parañaque. So you look at the industrial parks, or not even industrial parks, but industrial areas. Let's say from the West Service Road, there's still some warehouses left in Pasig. There's in Mangahan Industrial Park. Prices range anywhere from, let's say, Bulacan at Asiana Global Park. In San Simon, they're ranging about 100 pesos per square. At Tarlac, at Hermosa, they're about 150. But you're inside an industrial park where you can get a PEZA accreditation also. There's a good track of good warehouses right here by PEZA. By Pasig along C5, they're ranging around 550 to 600 per square. Okay, you have to look at the kind of development that the warehouse is. Are the roads paved? Maganda ba yung kalye? Ang magandang slab niyan is about at least a foot, 1 foot. Ganyan kakapal dapat ang semento. Kasi pag mga 6 inches lang yan, imagine dumadaan dyan 10, 40, 60 wheeler. Nako, hindi tatagal ng isang buwan yan. Okay? Then you have to look at the height of the ceiling. How high are
the... Right? And then, if you guys want to know where PEZA is going, what are the opportunities? Because Digiteo is the one bringing in all these locators and investors also. No? Now, you will have an idea kung saan yung magiging requirements. So if you want to have a closer look at that and then monitor their movements, you can read Real Estate News Philippines, because we have a special arrangement with PEZA. Real Estate News Philippines and PEZA, we have an MOU wherein this is the central depository of the information that they have. So we have a special section for PEZA at the Real Estate News. So bantayan nyo lang and see who are the new locators, what type of locators are coming in, where are they moving, and you'll have an idea already of what to offer.
Okay, Andy, to add to the kasi apparently it was I added some more slides to the second PowerPoint that I did, no. So just to enlighten everyone, okay, sino mga funder ng mga infrastructures natin? So when you got the IMF, when you got JICA, and you've got the ADB backing up all these infrastructures, then you know that these developments are sound. Okay, tatapusin yan. At saka bago pasukin ng JICA yan, ADB at saka ng IMF, pinag-aralan nila if it makes sense. So the mere fact that these three major corporations or organizations are behind this developments, then we're secure. Then we're really heading towards the right direction. Okay, that's very, very critical.
Okay, I have a special bonus for our viewers and listeners here now. I hope he's available to speak, because he can share with us some very important tips and insights from a locator's perspective. Okay, he has been a locator in one of the biggest manufacturing plants here in the Philippines, and he's been into the development also of industrial parks directly or indirectly. And also he has been helping the country and some developers in promoting this in other countries. We were in Taipei and Kaohsiung last August with BCDA and a big developer to promote Philippine industrial properties here. So what tips can you give, and how is this from the perspective, what are you looking for, and what are the first 5 questions that you ask a broker or somebody who's offering properties to you as a locator? Maybe call here my very good friend and business partner and boss of KW Manila, Mr. Steve Chen.
Hi, Andy. Hi. Hi,
Sorry
Sir
to put you on
Robert.
the
How
spot.
are you?
Fine. Good morning. Missing you.
Yeah, it was a great section today. Thank you so much for sharing with us with tremendous information. And thank you, Andy, for great. I think Andy has put a lot of effort of contact with BESA, with all our friends. Even we have a friend from China Embassy in Beijing.
Yes.
You know, actually, friends count. I just like to add something to Sir Robert. Sir Robert was mentioned about we know all this industrial part. I like to ask is for everybody to share is who do you know about the industrial part, and who do you know the ecosystem of the industrial part? I guess in order for us to ride on top of this wave, to earn money from this industrial rising is actually important, because the to how much we're familiar with the ecosystem. Can you imagine to transfer a factory from China to Vietnam, come to Manila? What do they need? You know, we are here to provide them something neat. And then BESA is important. Definitely that you can always go to BESA. You know, if we have somebody give away flyer in front of BESA, definitely you have a potential to meet them, to get the first crack, because everybody, when they want to invest in the Philippines, they talk to BESA. So to be a friend with the BESA is a number one, right? Because they know everybody and they know any people. When they sign the memo, it's too late for us because they must find the location already. So there's no opportunity for us if we see they sign the contract. But the most important is get ahead. Before they sign the memo, invest in the Philippines, we should be there. So start early. Don't wait until they sign the memo. Too late, because they already find the site. Because without securing the site, they cannot do company registration and they cannot register in BESA. But BESA definitely know who is coming in. And the number 2 important is to know the friend in the ecosystem. We always have to open our ear to see somebody in the contractor. You know, they talk about, oh, I was consulted by where to build. So you need to have a couple of friends who is a contractor. And then you can talk to the logistic company, because logistic company are always knowing who is coming into the Philippines, who is looking for the property. And number 3 is a manpower agency. Most of the people, they will talk to the manpower agency, because when they start a factory, they need manpower agency. So this is the ecosystem. We are also as one of the important factor in the ecosystem. So I'm sure these people will talk to us. Don't forget, to build the industrial park, to build a factory, you need contractor, you need land developer, you need broker, you need actually manpower agency. Once you have all these friends with you, definitely you could be so successful like Mr. Robert, because Mr. Robert know everybody in the industry, and that's why he can able to connect everybody together in one platform. So this is something that we wanted to learn, and this is something I like to share. So Andy, back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Great day today. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Steve. Those are very, very important tips and information. We have a question from Venice Lee. Is it true that PESA doesn't give brokers professional fees? Yes, because they are not the client. They just provide you information of who's coming, what do they need. They don't even act as a middleman. You can just get them as a source of information for your next moves or next steps. Be very watchful of news and what's coming in, who's moving, and even this geopolitical things happening outside or AI revolution happening outside will have an effect directly or indirectly to the motivation of potential locators to move here in the Philippines. So yes, and okay. Any other questions?
Andy, I just answered the message in the email, and also Miss Deliso about what's the most difficult part when it comes to closing and how long it will take. Actually, it actually could be so fast. The transaction with me and Mr. Robert and with the client, it took us 2 months. So that's very fast. But some of them, it could take 3 or 4 months on that. Especially right now with the industry, with the warehouse, you have to tell the client if they don't decide today, tomorrow the warehouse is gone. This is how fast for the last couple months because everybody are looking for ready-built warehouse. However, you have to know the client very well. So the difficult about closing the transaction is how much do you know the client? What do they need? You know, for the client, if they haven't settled in the Philippines, they have to know who is the contractor. They have to know who is the electricity source because they need power. And they also need to look for manpower agency. So the more we know about the client can help you to close the transaction. But if they ask you, where can I get the power? I don't know. Where can I get the water? I don't know. Where can I get the environmental DNR permits? I don't know. It will prolong your closing schedule. So that's the knowledge we need to learn so we can close it faster. Right? Thank you.
Another factor, Steve, as a member.
Yes.
These foreigners are coming in, right?
Yes.
So when they open up a company, it better be fast also.
Oh, yes.
That's a key because without that permit or business, they cannot sign a contract. All right. And then there's the bank because they got to issue a local check. All right.
Yes.
That one, no?
Yeah.
So those are keys also.
So you need to have a friend. You need to have a lawyer friend to help you to set up a company. And you need to have a good accountant like our friend with Mr. Robert, right? He can help the client to open a account in the SEC, to open a company in SEC and to be registered in PESA and then open a bank account. So those are the services we need to provide as well.
I think the reason why the transaction went very fast and very smooth and very well because they've dealt with very well connected and very well experienced mediators, right? You know the questions to ask, you know what they need. You can actually even act as their business development or their consultant. And on the other hand, from the supplier side, you know all the steps in getting the permits, licenses, you have the connection. That's the reason why. And this is why if you have any listings, if you have any requirements, just ask KW. Okay.
And Andy will bring you to see Theo, right? And then Mr. Robert will introduce Professor Sai, can help you to set up the company. You see, that's why we have this platform. Everybody are in here. You can solve the problems.
This is where you find the whole ecosystem.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, later on we will announce that those who are interested, they can even get a 45-minute free consultation for their business. There. They have a free 45-minute business consultation. And if you want to schedule that, you just scan this. This is one of the benefits and the values that Keller Williams Manila is offering to our partners. Okay. But for those who are not yet partners and are here, have a taste of the benefits, of the values that KW Manila offers to our partners. And we'd like to also announce that we have an ongoing Ignite. Ignite is one of the main and the basic but main programs and signature programs of Keller Williams, wherein it will help you spark not only a selling career, but a full business career in real estate. So please scan this and also check out the schedule and make time for it. Instead of just if you have time. If I were you, make time for it.
Sir Andy?
Yes.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, I have a client. They have an already existing industrial properties in Santo Tomas, Batangas. And they want to have it accredited with PESA. How long does it take, sir, yung process?
I'll send you a link later, and then I'll connect you with the Director General.
Okay, thank you, sir.
It will be faster. Oh, we'd also like to recognize here the presence of the biggest organization and network in the north, especially in Pampanga for that specific target market, which is on the residential side. He also recently launched the pioneering AI facility for the real estate industry, not only in the north but also for the Philippines, making it very friendly, making it very simple. Mr. Joliber Mapiles. Joliber, can you say hi to our friends here?
Thank you so much, Sir Andy. Power morning po sa inyong lahat. Looking forward po sa Thursday, Sir Andy, for the AI discussion.
Yeah, Thursday we'll have a Zoom talk for our AI discussion of how it will really affect. No, you cannot avoid AI anymore. And it's not just ChatGPT. There are a lot of things that you can use. It will not replace you, but agents who are using AI will definitely replace you. Okay.
Andy, I think there's a few questions here that I'd like to answer, no? So what's the most difficult part when it comes, it's a question from Neil. All right. What's the most difficult part when it comes to closing transactions in industrial properties? Well, it's really the need of the client, okay? Because the property owner naman, the developer, is ready to lease. Okay, that's usually, so it's really the need of the clientele. So it will boil down to, of course, if they like the location, of course, they both have to agree on the term of the contract. So meron dyan super just like, lease contract ng offices or bahay or ng merong mga super paranoid, meron naman paranoid. That's when your mediation skills come in. Okay, you want it always a win-win situation, and what's fair is fair. And what's a win-win situation is always the goal of everybody, right? So that's the key. So that's probably the most difficult part. It's really having them, kasi madali na yung magustuhan yung location. It's the terms that would always be the challenge of the contract, no? You kind of like narrow down already also beforehand, what the needs are, how long the term is. Kung 6 months lang yan, di ba? That's a waste of your time. Okay. And there's the next question here is how can you earn on these transactions? I have several ways of asking for professional fees. Of course, we'd like to get a year for every term, but of course, most don't like to give professional fees. Developers won't give us renewals on every year. My standard is a month. For every 5-year lease, we try to get 2.5 months. Okay. Of course, you get paid in the first year, the first full month. The second year, you get your full month, and then the third year, you get your half month. That's like a win-win situation. There's been issues also. There's been cases that I've gotten away with wherein flat off the bat, 5 years, magkano ba ang total revenue niyan, not including taking aside escalations. So kunyari 500,000 a year. So in 5 years, that's how much? Diba? That's 3 million. So I just get a percentage, 3 or 5%. That also works. But that's kind of like hard. Sometimes it's easier for them to fathom that. But the initial thing is that, oh, mas mataas ang makukuha mo dyan, ah. So that's your play already. Okay? But make sure, because when you're getting renewable, especially on the long-term lease, I did a lease long time ago, going on 25 years already. The Total here along Ortigas by Xavier. So we were safe up to the 6th year. 7th year of the lease, 7th year, we got the management change. So the new members of the company stepped in. So they didn't renew us anymore. Anyway, it was a good ride for 6 years. Because for 25 years, that would have been like almost for every 2.5 for every 5 years, that would have been 2.5, 5, 10, something. So nalugi lang kami ng mga probably, what do you call this, 5 months, which is okay lang, charge it to experience.
Okay, thank you very much. We have time for only one more question. It's already 10:05, and we'd like to have a hard stop before 10:10. Okay, do you have a sample lease contract for the term? Noel, you can maybe avail of our consultation, so you can. It's not just handing out to you a sample lease contract, but you'll have to understand on how to read and interpret and see the more important provisions of the lease contract. Otherwise, you can just actually Google it, right? But it's very important that you know each specific contract is very specially made. Okay, one last question. You can type it here or turn on your cams. We'd also like to acknowledge here the presence of the beautiful Dilak Bumsiritum, also a developer and an active player in the real estate industry. Hi, Dilak. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Sir Andy. Good morning. Sorry, I'm not ready because I just came across the post this morning. Kaka-sign up ko lang.
Oh, thank you, Dilak.
And thank you for sending me the link right away, kaya nakahabol ako. Good
Siyempre.
morning to everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. I hope you found value in this session today.
Yes, actually, oo.
And we'd like to invite you also. This is a regular thing that we do every Monday. Okay.
Was
Thank
this
you very much.
recorded, Andy?
I think Hannah has recorded this one.
Yes, yes.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Otherwise, we'll do it all over again.
No, kasi pag naka-record, baka pwedeng slow down, masyadong mabilis eh. Kanina.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you very much. Miss Michelle Lee is driving. Miss Ming Lee is driving. Please drive safe. Who else? Okay. Again, thank you very much, bro. And looking forward to maybe another session. Watch out for our next session with one of the best real estate tax consultants that we have, Professor Sai De La Torre, who will be sharing with us a lot of details about the OPC. Okay. The OPC, it's a one-person corporation. It might be very useful. It depends on your operations, right? So you can see the pros and cons of this one. and maybe you can find some value or information on how you can give this advice to your clients, and or if you just want to let the pro do it. Okay, so watch out for that, and we'll look forward to our next session. Okay, thank you very much, and have a great week ahead.